Okay, I am going to get my jumbo loom ready. My Uncle Gordon, my Auntie Nikki made this. This is their prototype and I get to test it out. So what I just did, I guess I'll do it on camera. So this is good thread. It's bonded nylon. This is actually pretty good for loom weaving. I would not suggest using Nymo, any of the size Nymo. Like this one, 00, or the Nymo D, or D Nymo, whatever you want to call it. These are just too stretchy for loom weaving. You can use it if you pre-stretch it. That's okay. I mean, there would be more than enough because these spools are huge. But I would not suggest using those ones for loom weaving. There's lots of different threads out there that you can use. I've seen people use upholstery thread to loom, bead loom, just regular thread. But beading thread is definitely the one that you would want to use because the beading thread is thin enough to go through your seed beads. So this one I did on a smaller loom, actually the plastic loom from Michael's, and I used like a polyester type string, thicker one, 1 millimeter for the outsides, and then just regular good thread for the weft, which is the thread that goes on your loom, and then the warping thread is what goes through your beads and stuff. I used the same for both, and this is how it turned out. So now I guess I should go through the supplies you're going to need. So obviously you're going to need your loom, your thread, the beads you're going to need. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You can wax your thread if you really want to, like your warping thread, the one that's going to go through all your beads so that it doesn't tangle. Now, I personally find with good thread, you do not need to wax it. It is going to take a little bit of practice, but I do not wax this thread. Other supplies you're going to need, you're either going to need some leather for when you're done. This is hide. I do believe this is white deer hide. I got this from Kits and Caboodle in Williams Lake, actually. It's part of just a scrap kit. So this is literally the piece I got from there. But I use this to hold my beads so they don't slip around. I do have several bead mats, an insane amount of bead mats, actually, to be honest. But I find sometimes just using something that's flat and doesn't have like a bowl type thing, a little bit easier to pick up the beads. So you're going to need that as well. If you are going to use slider bars, like this, like what I made on the bracelet here, these are called slider bars. I did find mine on Amazon. That's where I got mine. It is actually pretty durable, and the lobster clasp is actually really nice. It just depends on how you want to finish your final product. If you are going to use leather, you can either use E6000 or the Gorilla fabric glue. There is different types of glue out there, so remember to use fabric glue. E6000 is an all-around glue. You can literally use it for anything. Both glues do stink. I would suggest either using a mask or being in a really well ventilated area. What else do I need? Right. Some other things you are definitely, obviously, you're going to need your warping needle. This is the needle that you are going to put through your beads. I gotta change the thread to my black. So I have two different types. So this is a big eye beading needle. So this is, they're not lying when they say big eye. So I do use this sometimes, not all the time. All it is a 6-inch long needle that you can separate to put your thread through, and then you can put this through your beads. I think this is more so used for delica beads, because delica beads does have a bigger opening in the center of the beads where this and your thread can go through. That was trial and error for me. So what I do use now is the Beading Jewel Loom needles. I did purchase these at Michael's. I do believe it was like $6, maybe less than that. And it is made for loom weaving. And it is 8 centimeters, so 3 inches long. It comes in a nice 6-pack. I more so use these to stabilize my beads while I am weaving. So we will see how all of that goes, and if I use those or not. It's always nice to just have it in front of you just in case. And then of course you are going to either do it on your own, or you can get a pattern. So what I used is a pattern I found on YouTube. Actually, she is obviously a content creator. Her YouTube account is Off the Beaded Path. I will tag her. This pattern is actually from 2020. 2022. So this is a few years old for sure. It is still free. It is on her website. If you go to this particular YouTube video, this is the thumbnail, and just click on her links and it will bring you to this hat loom pattern. And this is what I want to make. She does have a lot of other patterns that you can purchase on her website. She has a lot of great patterns actually. But because this is my first one, and I've made a choker, I've made, I want to say maybe 20 of these bracelets and just given them out. But now I want to try something bigger, and I have something to try it on finally, because I hate doing bigger projects on the smaller looms. So this video is kind of all over the place. Oh, I don't do videos and I am super nervous. So what you're going to want to do is create a loop at the end of your thread here. So now you have your loop, and now just so that you can see where it is going, there is a hook here, right here. It is an open hook. So this is where my thread is going here. This is your anchor, because with loom weaving, you do have to have really, really good tight tension. Really good tight tension, so that your beads are not flip-flopping everywhere and your beadwork doesn't look bad. So you want it tight, but not too tight, because if you go too tight, then there is definitely a good chance that you will break your thread. Like I said, this is for beading. So what you want is to hear a small sound, kind of like guitar strings, but you don't want it so tight that, see? Hopefully you can hear that, but all I did was tighten it up a little bit and now I can hear it. And then on the other side here, on this side, there is a hook just like the other side. You're going to want to wrap it around that hook twice before you come back. And you want to make sure that you are going into the groove right next to your first thread. So, I know you can barely see it, but there is two thread there. So you just want to make sure that you will always wrap it around twice. So that you know for sure that your tension is not going to go anywhere. Nothing is going to accidentally pop it out of place. It seems like a lot of wasted thread. Trust me, I know. I used to be really stingy with all of my supplies because beading is not cheap. Yes, a few products here and there may only cost you $2, $3, $5, but you add all of that up, it adds up pretty dang quickly. But at the same time, after a while, you get to find out and understand your type of beading, your style of beading. It gets easier. And then you know exactly how much you use, how much you don't use, and then you start to get a feeling of exactly how much you need. But for learning, it is better to use more than less, because you do not want to be halfway through a project and then find out you did not use enough. And now, especially if you're not experienced and you don't know how to add onto your beading, it's sad. It's sad. Now, ask me how I know that. Literally, it is horrible. It's really a sad feeling, because now you have a half-done project and you don't know what to do with it because you don't want to add anything onto it. So I need 12 of these weft threads, as they call it. Unless I got those backwards and these are my warp threads, and then my wefting is what goes through the beads. Either or, that's the terminology. If you go to other Loom videos, that's what they use. I just call it my threads. So I need 12. Last count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 10. Going to be 10. Sorry, I had to double count, triple count, I guess. 10. 11, 12. this part. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, 12. So you always want one extra string more than beads that you're using. So the pattern calls for 11 beads being used in one row, so I need 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's kind of what I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So your thread should always end on the same side that you started. Because then you can use your first thread there to tie a knot together. Trust me, that makes it easier. So much easier. So now you can double knot it, triple knot it, however many times you feel safe. As long as you know it's secure and your threads are not going anywhere. May or may not need a microphone because I don't know if you can hear me. I just realized I was talking into the board and not to my phone. Okay, so now that is all secure. And see? Used a bit, definitely not that much though. This comes with 500 meters of thread, so it does last quite a long time. I mean, out of one spool, I can get exactly 51 earrings out of one spool. So now I can get my needle ready. See, this is too short to do anything with. Like I probably can use it as tack down thread. I don't know, but I will probably just get rid of that. So now everybody's favorite part, threading the needle. So now, I just realized I said that a little bit too many times. It's literally my worst part. I hate doing this part. And obviously, because it's on camera, it takes, oh no, I got it. So now my needle is threaded. I like to leave a tail like this, about 5-6 inches long. I do not double thread when I'm looming because your thread has to go through your beads 2 times already, and then you have these as well that you're going to be working through. So I definitely would, I mean, you can double your thread if you really want to. I don't. I also like to do, maybe I should lift this up a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So when you open your arms like you're about ready to give somebody a hug, that is called your wingspan. When I'm beading, I like to do 2 wingspans, sometimes 4. But for weaving, I only do 2 just to be safe. Like I said, you only do what you're comfortable with. If you're only comfortable with 1 wingspan, half a wingspan, even less than that, it's totally up to you. But at the same time, just letting you know, you will have to add more thread. You have to finish off, re-add on. So But when you're practicing and you're just learning, it is a good idea to just do what you're comfortable with. So for right now, all I did was 2 wingspans. Now I will get my all my beads ready. All my jars of beads and my little mini scoop and my hide, so that my beads don't go flying around everywhere. Probably should actually use my bead mat so I can keep track of all of these. Keep all of these in order so I know which one's which. It's all unedited, real time. Sure, probably wouldn't have taken so long if I wasn't talking so much. So this pattern does call for 5 different colors, labeled A, B, C, D, E. Now in the original pattern, she is using different colors. She's using brown, beiges, whites, and blacks. I want to use the fire colors minus the white. I did not think of that. I should have used the white. It is what it is. Like I said, this is just a test for me, a test on the pattern and a test on the new loom. So now I have my needle in my one hand, the ending of my other thread, or the ending of the thread on this hand. And so that you get even tension left and right on your whole project, start in the middle. Start in the middle of your loom so that what you do to one side is the same that you do to the other side. Makes it easier so that you only have to, personally for me, you only have to look at the pattern once, because you already did one side, and what you're going to do on the one side you're going to do on the other side. It's just a mirror image. Definitely makes it easier. So now I'm going to start picking up all of my beads. I'm going to stop this video here, and then I will start a new video for the next part, for me actually picking up the beads from the pattern and adding everything on. Okay, thank you, bye.